On September 12th, 2025, a user by the name of SaucyJack01 made a post in the FF10 subreddit that quickly got the attention of the FF10 community. It followed up on another post from userin_1 and detailed a weird way to start the Chocobo Catcher minigame, placing you at the finish line so you don't have to do the entire race. Not only that, but the way this is done allows you to get the Sun Sigil since you can easily get a time of 0.0. Catcher Chocobo is the final minigame you need to complete before getting the Sun Sigil, which lets you unlock the true power of Tidus's celestial weapon, Bulb. Simple enough, but this race is known for being an absolute nightmare. This on-rails race requires you to not only beat the Chocobo trainer, but also grab balloons and dodge birds on the way down. The balloons shave 3 seconds off your final time, and getting hit by a bird adds 3 seconds to your final time. The balloons aren't too big of a deal if you miss one, but the birds are actually ridiculous to deal with. These birds can hone in on you in some insane ways, making it feel like they're impossible to dodge, and even if you do make it close to the end, they'll just pop up and hit you from their spawn. The worst part about this is the amount of stun lock that gets applied when you're hit. On top of losing 3 seconds, you lose whatever time for being stopped in place, and it's very frustrating. People have spent hours trying to get a perfect time in this minigame, only for some random bird to screw it all up. So when people heard that there was a way to glitch the minigame, they had to see if it was legit. The way this works is due to triggering a cutscene at the same time as interacting with an object. When you first enter the Calm Lands and after you have access to a Chocobo, you can use this as your interactable object. There's a cutscene you can trigger with Savanda, who is located at the top of the map near the Scar. It's a little tricky, but if you try to board your Chocobo while triggering the cutscene at the exact same time, you'll retain control of Tidus, but his character model will look a little strange. This is actually a spin on a well-known glitch that's used in FF10 speedrunning, with variations of this being used to skip the last half of Guado Salam in the Jiskel scenes at the Makalania Temple. This specific glitch was first shared back in October of 2019 by a well-known Final Fantasy speedrunner named Sereth, and ended up being featured in a video by EasyScape showing how to recreate the Tidus on Tidus action. This additional exploit was discovered by a Japanese glitch hunter by the name of Fat Cat Miyake, or just Miyake for short. He posted a video detailing all this on July 18th of 2025, which I'll link in the description. Getting back on track, while the Savanda cutscene is playing in this state, your camera will be stuck. You have to go to the travel agency area to reset the camera, then move back out before pressing the confirm button to progress the dialogue. This sends you back to the top of the map, but still in the cutscene. From here, you need to run downwards about 20 steps, or to this spot on the ground where the brown texture meets the green textures. The game still thinks you're in the state where you're riding the Chocobo, so if you hit cancel here, it fixes Tidus's character model and makes the Chocobo reappear. By hitting confirm twice very quickly, you can actually board the Chocobo. Now that we're on the Chocobo, it's time for the Chocobo training section. When you walk to the Chocobo trainer, you still have control of your character since you're in the cutscene glitch. By starting the talk, running over to the monster arena entrance, and starting up Wobbly Chocobo, you can get back into the glitch character state once the countdown is done. By moving north towards the Calm Lands exit, you can end the minigame instantly. This is from hitting the trigger that determines if you pass between the trainer and her Chocobo. Not going between the two makes you fail the minigame, and from here, you can pick Catcher Chocobo. Entering the minigame in the double Tidus state lets you move around, and by using the map to navigate the area like before, you can go to the finish line and start the minigame from there. The nice thing about being in this state is you can't get into any random encounters. There are some ways that fights can still happen, such as going into the travel agency area and updating the camera, but thankfully that's not near the optimal path to the race finish. By getting off the Chocobo at the finish line, then getting back on during the menu to confirm the race start, you start right next to the finish line. During the countdown, you'll want to cross the finish line before the race starts, ensuring that the timer stops immediately after it starts. It won't show that on screen, but trust me when I tell you that your timer does stop. You do have to go back and get one balloon to ensure that you get 0-0 or better, but otherwise there's no birds to dodge, and you don't need to worry about missing any balloons. The game is in a weird state at this point, so all you need to do is wait for the timer to run out at 2 minutes before it transitions you to the post-race dialogue, and you can get your prize. And there it is, one sun sigil without dealing with the most frustrating minigame in Final Fantasy X. The only thing here is if you already triggered the Scar cutscene from your file, you will need to get back to the point where you haven't activated the cutscene. Based on testing, this should work on any version of the FF10 HD remaster and should also work on the PS2 release. Let me know if the glitches work on your version in the comments below. This glitch is an amazing find for casual players, but for speedrunning, this really doesn't do much. Modern day runs don't get the celestial weapons in the fastest category, and because this setup is so slow, it wastes a ton of valuable time that would be spent progressing through the run. For longer categories, runners usually win the minigame first try, as they practice to the point where getting a perfect time is second nature to them. Still, it's amazing that people were finding new exploits decades after the original game was released. Shoutouts to Miyake for finding this specific exploit, and Reddit user SaucyJack01 and user_1 for spreading the word about it. I left links to the videos and posts in the description below. Stay hydrated, folks, and thank you so much for watching.